yourself and where you're from and
Yeah,
how you've wound up doing what you do now.
absolutely. Well, this is my first Substack Live, so I feel like really special. Also,
Welcome.
I'm here. Here we
You're
are.
here.
I am about to turn 44. I grew up in New York, and when I was 9, I told my parents that I wanted diamonds, and they were like, "We're leaving," and we moved to the farm out here where there was nobody. Because I had two, I mean, Europe, my dad was German and my mom is English. And she was like,
Okay.
I'm not raising an asshole. I think I can curse on Substack.
Preach.
And so we moved out here. And I think like that is probably when I learned quickly about empathy because I was really foreign out here. And I was also surrounded by animals. And I was surrounded by people that were like, at that point, like just very different from how I was raised in my family, these crazy European parents. Um, and we lived on the vineyard, which was just like starting. Everything was just
Uh-huh.
starting. We had
Wow.
like one paddock with a donkey in it and the farmhouse. And just slowly, that became my dad's vision was to have this winery. And everybody said he was crazy, totally
Right.
crazy. And he was crazy, but I mean, he was also a visionary and a risk taker.
Hmm. Hmm.
And obviously now it's sort of one of these must go tos in the Hamptons. And also we have a brand that is now like 85% wholesale. So, which is really exciting. Yeah. We're actually like kind of, we're getting big in California, which is as a wine business on the
No,
East Coast is pretty huge.
it's unbelievable actually.
Yeah, it's
And I
really
mean, you
exciting.
you like at Whole Foods, they have your wine.
Yeah,
You walk in and you're literally like they have these huge end cap displays
I
of it.
know.
So
It's really awesome. And Trader Joe's just did a huge expansion too. And AVP and like Safeway. So it's really fun and it's really exciting to be growing something. And I
yeah.
had no experience. I only took over this business because my dad passed away suddenly,
Oh,
and I was 26, and my brother is my half brother, and he's 16 years older than me, and he
oh
was
my.
like, "Well, I'm going to buy it," and I was like, "Okay, you buy it." Like I have no
Yeah.
interest because you're. I was in fashion. I was
Yeah.
living in New York. I had just met
Okay.
a boyfriend. I didn't think about anything but myself,
Yeah.
like shopping and going out to parties. So
Yeah.
I wasn't focused on what my future would be. At that
Sure.
point. But then when you meet with the sudden death like that, you are quickly enlightened to your world that is completely changed. And
Right.
so a couple of years went by, and then when it came to settling the estate, I my mom and my husband, now husband, convinced me not to sell, and it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. And I think about that often because I love living here. I now
You
have
do.
2 kids here. I have
Yeah.
2 daughters that are 8 and 10, and I'm raising them the way I think my parents probably, intended to raise us, which is
Yes.
just, like, surrounded by nature, animals, sports, like, no I mean, my kids won't get a cell phone until they're 16, so
God bless you. I wish if I could take one thing back in my life. I don't have many regrets. It's
but I
that.
think it's the time, like, I think I'm
Yeah.
I'm kinda blessed with the timing. For sure, we'll have something else, so don't worry about it, but, they're so for me, raising them out here in this world, especially the one that we're living in, where we happen to, the winery is on its horse stables, so they're around animals all the time,
All the
and
time.
that what that does for you, for empathy and for caring and for like appreciating other life but your own is really
Right.
like essential to me.
Right.
And I feel so. I mean, it is not lost on me how lucky I am. So that's a little bit about how I am, where I am, and
Yeah. So you found your way back to the big city to do fashion. And then, so like, at what age did you decide, okay, I'm really going to lean into the business and the
I mean,
winery?
I had, at the same time started this fashion truck. So I was like the first fashion truck that existed. And I actually took it like all over the country
No
and it was
way.
really great. And I loved it.
Uh huh.
But once I had, so this was all happening at the same time because the winery
Yeah.
also wasn't making money when we took it over.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
were
All right.
barely breaking even. So I was like, I have to make money.
Yeah.
And my fashion business was like very successful. So and I really liked it, and I was kind of like, "I'm not gonna let my dad," because my dad was a tough character, so I'm not gonna let him steal my dreams and my career as well. Like, this is not I'm not, I wanna live for myself and what
Sure.
I wanna do,
Right.
and so I was really like, I kind of And it was good